What is that one fact you know that always makes people respond? And why the fuck do you know that? Too late, but here it goes. Don't ever bury a dead body in an area without any vegetation. The high nitrogen content in our bodies helps plant to grow, and there will be a weird grassy patch at the top of burial site and anyone would be able to spot it. So that's why the neighbor's lawns look so much better than mine. If you're allergic to chocolate, you're usually allergic to cockroaches. Why? Do cockroaches have naturally occurring chocolate running through their veins? Chocolate has cockroaches in it. Almost always. Wait, no. Most candy has bugs in it. That's why the FDA has a set limit on bug parts per unit of candy. At a single time, the sloth's body mass can be comprised of 1/3 feces. It takes several hours for the sloth to excrete its bowels completely. And they often die while pooping because they use more energy pooping than they do from eating. That and they're low to the ground and vulnerable. Back in the day, poor families would collect their urine so they could sell it to tanners. Hence, piss poor. If you were poorer than that, well, you didn't even have a pot to piss in. A bear fought in the Polish army in WWII. The cub was discovered by Polish prisoners in the mountains of Iran. They taught him how to puff and swallow cigarettes. Even taught him learned how to turn on communal showers, pick up recruits, and carried empty ammunition crates on the front lines. That you cannot burn toddlers alive in The Sims 4, even if you make a building full of fire, and put 7 toddlers in the burning building for hours. Thanks for this, won't bother wasting my time now. No, do it, make them grow up in the fire and burn them alive. If you feed a human body to pigs, they will eat just about all of it except the teeth. Several murderers in rural areas have used this fact to their advantage. And each of those teeth is roughly 36 calories. That you can disembowel yourself if you lift weights that are too heavy. Happened to my high school gym teacher. Said he's never felt anything quite like shitting out your intestines. At some point in the future, you're gonna try to squat 300 pounds at the gym, and it's too much, and you're gonna blow out your sphincter, bro, in front of all these gym dudes. The paramedics have to cut your pants off, and it looks like you're casing sausage out of your butt. Just don't do it. Polar bear liver has lethal concentrations of vitamin A. And if you eat it, you experience terrible pain and your skin sloughs off before you die. So the Ark of the Covenant is just a glorified polar bear liver? Heavy emphasis on the glory. Opossums eat ticks, like we eat potato chips. They'll hoover up 5,000 ticks a week, and never get Lyme disease themselves. And they don't get rabies, and are North America's only marsupial. Edit, I misspoke in saying that opossums can't get rabies. It is possible for them, but rare, less common than in other mammals. Thank you everyone for sharing sources and correcting my slip up. Science is always helping people learn and improve. Also be sure to thank your local opossum gang for snacking on all of those pests that nobody likes. The stringy things inside bananas are called phloem bundles. They allow the nutrients of the banana to travel the length of the fruit. They are kinda like the vascular system of the plant. I don't want to know I'm peeling away banana veins. Alcoholics decompose faster when they die. Source was a crime scene cleaner. Edit, so I posted this last night while falling asleep, so here is some clarification. When people die they decompose, but people that are alcoholics will decompose faster than normal dead people. Why? I have no idea. It's been so long since I was in that line of work, I just remember enough stories and facts to stay interesting. Love y'all. Crime scene cleaner on what side of the law was this? He's the one that receives the dinner party reservations. Paid only in gold coins. The fox has many different vocalizations, including a mating call that sounds like the Hollywood representation of a woman being murdered in the middle of the night. Edit, and boom goes my inbox. So do mountain lions. Used to live in a canyon with a lion population, and the first time I heard that in the middle of the night I was sure someone was dying. As someone that has heard a mountain lion screaming while sitting in a tent, I can tell you that after you realize that someone isn't getting brutally murdered, you realize that you've got a murder machine out there. In ancient Babylon, people would build their most valuable possessions, fine wine, among others, into the walls of their basement, which in the region was usually a naturally occurring cave, so when the taxman came he couldn't see it to count it. Humans, dodging taxes for over 3,000 years. From the moment we learned to collect taxes, we've been figuring out how to evade them. Ancient Egyptians used to shave off their eyebrows to mourn the death of their cats. Please don't say this where my cat can find out and put even more weird pressure on me. Yeah, my cat put weird pressure on me this morning. Made me get up and feed him. Criticizing everything I did the whole way there. 20 minutes later he threw it all up. Whole pieces, of course, because he had to hoover. Verb I learned from this thread, up his food like one of our labs. Not only that, but he did it on our floating stairs, so it dripped onto multiple stairs and onto the floor below. He just laid in the sun watching me clean it up and rolled over for belly scratches. When I passed by, I give him another hour before he gets hungry and pissed. Bee testicles explode when they finish, and they die. Finish living with a bang. Can bees do anything without dying afterward? Bees only die when stinging humans. Our skin is too thick, but if they sting another insect they don't RIP off their stingers. Edit, it's mammals in general, but apparently it's only honeybees that this affects. The more you know. A human tooth has 36 calories. I'm hungry. Clenches jaws. MMM. 1152 calories. Look at Mr. Badass with all of his teeth. Pythagoras from the Pythagorean theorem ran a cult, and another group came to come and murder him by locking him inside his house and setting it on fire. But instead he had his followers make a human ladder to escape the fire, but then abandoned them, and they all died. He was murdered later that night being chased by the group in a bean field. And it was a pretty weird cult too. One of the rules was, if you let something fall on the ground you're not allowed to pick it up anymore. Help, I've fallen, and Pythagoras won't let me get up. HRRRGGGG Sullen, I'm trying to get up off the floor, but I'm dummy thick and the clap of my cheeks keeps alerting Pythagoras. A Russian woman had a shit ton of triplets, twins, and quadruplets, with the same man totaling up to 69 children. As a woman, fuck that. My vagina is having sympathy pains. Same, and I don't even have a vagina. Wombats have cubed poop. Poop 3. I like how this implies that non-wombat poop comes in the form of infinitely thin lines. Or sheets poop too. I sheet myself. A lobster's brain is in its throat. Birds need gravity to swallow, so a bird in space would die very soon. Edit, I understand there's no oxygen in space, but by that logic humans couldn't survive in space either. I meant if they had spacesuits like humans do. All except pigeons, which have the unique ability among birds to swallow via suction. Pigeons have already evolved in anticipation of shitting on us in 0G2. A nursing sperm whale's milk comes out in the consistency of cottage cheese, so the calf can eat it in the water. I read it as a nursing whale's sperm milk. Fuck me. I was so amazed that whales were nutting food for their kids, and massively disgusted of course. Hey dad, can you nut me a cheeseburger? You didn't have to write that. It would have cost you exactly $0 to not write that. That's in my brain now, and it's your fault. You're welcome. If you're a woman revolted by the smell of your guy's gym bag, but find yourself sometimes aroused by it, that's when you're ovulating. I told this to my girlfriend, and she said I guess I've never ovulated. A 2008 Prius can float, at least for short distances. Car was not damaged in any way. My dumbass thought you meant in the air, not the water. I applaud your honesty, if not your intellect. That Denmark had an ad called, "Do it for Denmark" to try and increase their population. Never forget the do it for mom ad either. Sweet Home Alabama. The fact that mushrooms are more genetically related to humans than they are to trees. Here's a real man screw. We share a third of our DNA with a daffodil. Is it? Wouldn't two living organisms have to have a lot of the same code to both be able to be living organisms? 33% seems somewhat low to me. Aren't we like 99.5% identical to rabbits? Owls have tube-shaped eyes, rather than spherical ones. This makes it difficult to move the eyes in their sockets, but is counteracted by the ability to rotate their heads 270 degrees in either direction. Half of all bank robberies take place on a Friday. I'm guessing this has something to do with paychecks being issued on Fridays. Do the banks prepare a bigger supply of cash for those who need it immediately? I used to work at a bank and their cash deliveries were on a Thursday, but it was more getting rid of money. The local businesses that accept cash would make deposits regularly, mostly $20 bills, whereas it's rare for people to cash their paychecks if they have a bank account or withdraw cash at all. The ATM takes care of most cash withdrawals and cash is just becoming less and less useful. Yup, that's why I have less cash on me or in my account. Gorillas have the smallest dick to body ratio, further proof I share a common ancestor with them. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos.